as we kind of wait for it to hit 3 p.m. for, you know, people to join the stream, is there anything in particular that I need to know about this album before I jump into it? Any concepts I should be looking out for so that they don't go completely over my head? Because Isaiah Rashad is more of a lyrical artist, and you know, coming from a producer's perspective, it's way easier for me to point out the little details in the beats. So I might miss a couple bars. So if you guys, you know, let me know about some of the concepts, I can keep my eyes a little more open for that. So it'll make it easier on me so that I don't miss anything. Hopefully Spotify has the lyrics for the album too. Introspection and depression, man. Those are not the adjectives you look for when you're about to go into a reaction video. The album talks about depression. Okay, so another person saying it's depressing. So definitely more of a serious album. I mean, you know, that's to be expected. Isaiah Rashad is not gonna make really fun, quirky, Tyler the Creator kind of music. Most intelligent introspection that you've ever heard. Interesting. Okay, well, we'll see what happens. We'll see how it goes. If I don't catch every single bar, don't get mad at me, man. It is a genuine first listen, so at least you know that it's legit if I miss things. I think I'm good to go, man. We've got 17 viewers. It's very nice to see you guys. Thanks everybody for stopping by. 14 songs, 49 minutes. Not bad. Not bad at all. Track 1 is Hereditary. I'm ready if you guys are. Let's jump into it. Really warm and fuzzy the way they filtered his vocals. I like the muffled melodies too. What's cool is he's, well, not cool, but he says 8 a.m. in the morning and I'm sipping on the Henny, and he also starts off the verse, I think, with my dad taught me to drink my pain away. So he's talking about drinking here, and this entire track kind of feels like it's underwater. You know, everything is really muffled, his vocals are heavily filtered. And you know a scene in like a typical teenage party sort of a movie where the main character gets drunk and suddenly all the background noise gets like super muffled and he hears like a ringing in his ears, and that's like how they let you know that this character is drunk. That's sort of the same vibe that I'm getting here, is like everything is kind of muffled, everything's kind of drowned out and hazy almost, because it's giving me that sort of I'm drunk and I'm drinking my pain away sort of a feeling. Even his performance, he's almost kind of slurring his words a little bit, you know? Oh, and it's short too. That's it. Wow. Okay, so track 2, Webbie flow. Bad traits he inherited by watching his father be absent. Yeah. Drinking, he taught him how to smoke. I caught that. Luckily, Spotify does have the lyrics as well, so. Oh, his vocals panning back and forth is so cool, man. Grown up for my child's sake, black and mild face, blicking blouse mission, always had faith, always had trace, always had James, and that's never regress, Georgia peaches, grab a cheek ass. Okay, so this one's really lustful. This beat is really hard. I'm loving the offbeat little keyboard stabs and also the unquantized drums, man. The swing is crazy. Inspire all my local jokers who be quitting at school. The stress now, since I'm fresh now, pull that motherfucking dress down. So this one's definitely talking about how he's using sex as well as like the alcohol. You know, he's really lustful. He's talking about women in a really degrading, demeaning manner and literally using them, you know? It's like he's picking up these traits that he witnessed in his father, and they're the exact traits that he doesn't want, but they're the ones that he ends up getting, you know? And that does tend to happen. Sometimes the traits about our parents that we hate the most are the ones that we get. Funny enough, that first track is called Hereditary, so you know he got it from his dad. I'm catching it. Really cool, really cool. Title track, Cilvia Demo. Yo, again, the really muffled kind of melodies in the background, very soulful, jazzy, you know, pianos, but they have like this filter over them that's cutting out a lot of the high end, and so it sounds like, for lack of a better term, like it's underwater, you know, like there's something that's muffling out those background sounds. But the drums also have the really cool swing to them, the lack of quantization, right? The really sparse drums, really. Like there's not a huge use of like percussion. There's not these crazy hi-hats and a lot of hi-hat rolls. Everything about it is very scarce and leaving a whole lot of room in this track. There's a lot of empty space as well, you know? Wow. Crazy flow, man. And it's catchy, wow.
The summers in Miami came it with me in the shots like I bought it for him. So I glanced at that little grown man at her front door. He looked
crazy pocket here, man. Yeah. Wow. I like that there's a catchy hook to it, but again, touching on that, you know, that story about his father and how everything that his father did to him, he feels like he's doing to somebody else. Talks about the summers in Miami and how he's, you know, trying to hook up with this woman who has a son, and her son's looking at him from the doorway the same way that he used to look at his own father. He still talks about drinking, only now he's also talking about drugs and all these different things that he uses to kind of escape and, you know, cope with the situation, and the fact that he grew up with these abandonment issues, dude, and the fact that now he's hurting other people as well in the same way, you know what I mean? That's tough. These beats are so sleepy, man. I love it. Like wavy, you know what I mean? Late night drive sort of beats. R.I.P. Kevin Miller is track 4. Hey. I need to hear Kendrick over this beat, man. Oh my god, man. Let's go. The ad-libs are crazy, and the fact that he did the whole verse with another take behind him, with a more energetic performance in the background, is crazy. And this chorus is kind of insane too. The way that the energy just builds, you know what I mean? The flow is always insane, dude. So tight. Yeah. That's hard, man. This one made it on my playlist. So did the last one. I think I forgot to mention that. I really wish we could have heard like Kendrick Lamar on this beat, man. This beat's really wavy. That's an awesome track. We got a couple SZA features on this too. That's crazy. I had no idea who SZA was in 2014. Ronnie Drake. With the one and only, man. SZA, bro. Those keys are so smooth. Chord progression's fire too. Poorly tinted windows, bro. Let's go. Come on. It's like she know that I got it. It feel like it. Ain't no getting money on that conscious shit. I'ma just load my gat on some survival shit. Wow. He finds the craziest pockets to flow in, man. There she is. That's one of the craziest bars to ever start off a verse. I hope they don't kill you because you black today. That's crazy. You're just gonna come in with the verse like that. Oh my god. We still dodging from police when we make a plate. They line searching in my bucket with the straightest face. Little black children, you can. I like this flow too. This track is insane, man. That's another playlist track. And that's 3 in a row. I wish SZA had a verse, but that's still a fire track. Like I said, that's 3 playlist songs in a row. Let's see how many tracks he can keep it rolling with. West Savannah featuring SZA. Just the waviest, most soulful beats, man. One after the other. That's a crazy bar too. At least we fell in love with something other than debate and suicide is crazy. Super smooth. There are some really high-pitched instruments going on in the background, man, that I'm just in love with. Very hypnotizing. Man, this is a super smooth song. And it is also a playlist track, absolutely. 100%. Oh, I love this. You know, beyond just the awesome lyricism and flows, his voice is just awesome for this sort of music, and he's also got a fantastic ear for writing catchy melodies and hooks, dude. That's just like, that's key, you know, that's instrumental. Really, really solid stuff. Love how smooth this project has been so far, man. How soulful. Track 7, Soliloquy. Let's go. Straight from that laid-back vibe into this harder feeling, man. Oh, the scratching on the sample is insane. Just that Conan, Art of Barbarian, I got 4 white girls, all Aryan, is so fire, bro. Oh my god. Yeah, alcoholism, drug addiction, and lustfulness is a recurring theme throughout this entire project. Absolutely. Just kind of like living his entire life in this haze. You know what I mean? That's I can see why introspection and depression is what you guys were saying. Absolutely. He's kind of reflecting on just how numb he is the entire time, you know? Wow. I'm loving all the different pop culture references, man. That's crazy. That's crazy, man. So many pop culture references in just like a span of a few bars. I have to go back and try and catch most of those, but I caught the Vince Vaughn. I caught the I forget the name. Fred, isn't it like Fred Claus, something like that? That he did the movie where he was like Santa Claus's brother or something like that. Of course, the Breaking Bad, the Walter White, the Vietnam reference. There was a couple other ones too. Oh yeah, he talked about musicians, right? Ozzy Osbourne, Marilyn Manson, Jim Jones thing. Yeah, he talked about a lot of shit, man. That's really crazy. Loving all the references. It's tough to catch everything on the first time, but I did my best. I think I caught quite a number of them. This is the next track, I believe. Yeah, track 8, Tranquility. All these beats are hard, dude.
Thank God for a shooter. And Quill for a Brutus. And Hard Road for a season. Get this living a chance. I'm getting patience. I wonder if the world
Again, the rhyme schemes are so complex.
Like then we level up. I wonder if my son gon' trust me. After song so us, they don't even want a nigga back in Africa. Thank God for a shooter.
Sheesh. Oh, wow. This is a really tranquil track. Pun intended.
Some of us shooters and some of us lovers. I see the sum of it all. I'm willing to pray. I'm feeling the angels. It's liquor to save you. Blind, you got you time for. What thank God for a shooter.
That's a great song, dude. Track is so laid back, so sleepy. Those keys are brilliant though. Love them. Opening the filter up. That's cool, man. That's really cool. The bass line's killer too. I hadn't even mentioned that. This track is Menthol featuring John Doe. I think it's John Doe.
10 ounces, one verse is like an 8 ball. Look, I seen it crystal clear.
Caps like it's senior year is great.
I can drink a beer, read a magazine. If fed it, I can fuck all night. Y'all too busy popping Molly, you could die off hype.
I love how simple the little loop is in the background, but it's so perfect, man. Love this part.
The prescription for dementia starts slipping in elixirs, make it hard to remember. Remedy was balling, I'm falling, darling, I'm done. Finna be a workaholic, an alpha.
You can't hear this and not feel relaxed, man. Awesome little laid back, sweet track, dude. Love the feature. Track 10, Modest.
No clue that I'm the greatest. Tory come sit up on this dick. I see you, that serpent in my fingers. I'm just smoking. Players from my city, Red Bull and DGOlas. Won't let them haters get me down. That's what they told us. They know us. Just living a
This is kind of funky, yeah.
acting like hoes, holding my cup like a strap. Look at my southern ass. Yeah.
Awesome flow.
And if that ain't enough, I got some weed. Yeah, come on. I sing her a song, she masturbating and bring me along. She got
His flow is so impressive, man. He just keeps going. Wow.
And if that ain't enough, you gotta live.
At this point right here, I feel like it's been going on for a little bit too long, just a little bit. But it's ending already, so it doesn't overstay its welcome for too long. It's still a fire track. Really wavy, straight vibes all the way through it, man. It's got this really hazy sort of a energy to it. I like it a lot. I do like it a lot. Heavenly Father is the one you guys have been talking about, so let's check this out. I already like the vibe here. There's some really interesting stuff going on already.
Now everybody telling me a lie, and all these girls, and I've been tired of spending on my dough.
Those guitars are so dreamy, man.
I just need some guidance in my steps.
Yeah, everything about this is groovy, kind of soulful. I'm loving the background. What am I trying to say? It's not background vocals. Like, they are vocals, but I want to say there's like a little sample in the background that's muffled, and it sounds, again, adding to that soulfulness of this vibe of this track. Loving the kind of faster paced feeling to this one, because we did have a couple kind of slower songs for the last few tracks. This is really hard, and I love those guitars, man. He's so honest about himself and his struggles, right? So cool. Yo, he's talking about such dark stuff over like this really happy beat.
Until you got a rope on your neck, and I've been losing more than just my mind. Yeah, I don't wanna be like you no more.
Wow. This is almost like him waking up, right? Receiving kind of like a wake-up call, deciding officially that he doesn't want to be like his father. It's like a turning point.
I drink too often, this liquor pouring from the faucet. You were these bitches ain't shit, and pussy is my greatest vice.
Wow. He's really, like, really nuts at this.
Know what I'm talking about. Like, you got punchlines for days, it's so generic A's. Yeah, and I'm so misrepresented by niggas that claim trill.
He's fantastic, man. He really is something else. I mean, needless to say, that's a playlist song, right? I don't even have to say that, but it is on my playlist. It's gonna flow right into track 12, Banana. I haven't heard Sun's Tirade in years, man. I gotta listen to that again. But I'm loving this one. Wow. This is so hard, man. The soft chiming in the background is so cool, too. This verse is so crazy. Wow. Really cool, man. Love that one too. Banana's a great song coming right off of Heavenly Father. This is Brad Jordan featuring Michael Da Vinci.
We was banging out some Master P on the road. I tell them how they better come correct. My mama told me we know septic.
His flows are always so creative, man. Never getting repetitive.
Feel like I'm Brad Jordan. Feel like I'm Brad Jordan. Two dope boys in the bus that run.
Granny, always make trouble. Gripping on the rappers, bitch, passive. It's just me, my brother, sport a bitch. In my December, we was losing, now we winning. Can I sport a couple?
Just keeps going and going and going, man. Doesn't even breathe. Pizza, are you pointing out the cowbell just in case I hadn't noticed it? Is that what we're doing, Pizza? Come on now. I noticed it the first time it played. I just didn't say anything. Gazon said that Isaiah goes so super hard over mellow instruments, and I agree, man. It's really interesting what he does with his performance, because his vocals are silky smooth. He's not like screaming or anything, but he's still bringing an energetic performance over these really soulful, kind of laid back, calming beats, and it is a nice juxtaposition, dude. It really is interesting to listen to, and he even does multiple takes, you know, with more energetic ad-libs and things in the background. But it never feels like it's wrong for the beat. It's really interesting the way he does that. Yeah. All right, a little pause just before we head into the last track, since this is a longer one. This is Shot You Down featuring J-Rock and Schoolboy Q. So judging by the features, I'm expecting this to be something special. Let's jump into this last track.
I feel anxious, bit dangerous.
You know, the album is great because it's from somebody in TDE. And I said I would have liked to hear Kendrick Lamar on that beat, but I don't feel like the song is missing a Kendrick Lamar feature. None of these tracks need Kendrick on them. That's how you know a TDE album is great, is the fact that their biggest artist, you're listening to the project and you're like, I don't even need Kendrick on this. You know what I mean? That's how you know it's like insane. None of these tracks, I feel like if Kendrick were on them, great. But I don't feel like he needs to be on any of them. Oh, that snare is so tight. That snare is gonna make me break my neck, bro. There's two hi-hats playing, and they're just barely slightly offset from each other. That's crazy. One of them is panned hard to the left. That's why I caught it. That's so interesting. It makes the track feel a little more spacious, right? The snare is already very reverberant. Having two different hi-hats playing with a slight offset creates sort of like an echo feeling and makes the track feel even more, you know, open and roomy than it already is. Not the beeper, bro. Come on. Fire.
Is you selling or you buying, nigga? Get rich or die trying, yeah. Yeah, I wrote it like a Benz, yeah. I spun my little ends on.
I feel like J-Rock is so slept on.
It's funny, right? What a couple lies to do. But seeing is believing what defines the truth. On the trolley, on my way to school, like dead nigga try me. Look on my ass, hoes trying to drown me. Niggas know I'm up, so
he's going in, man. No beat. A little flute, man.
Still counting my blessings.
Oh, we didn't get a hook before Schoolboy Q. Okay. Man, 100% playlist track, dude.
Get a taste of this gangsta rock kilo. Fish scale cut well, you won't find Nemo.
Schoolboy Q really held his own, man. That's crazy. They all went in. That's a fantastic closure to this project, man. That's also a playlist track, 100%. What an album, you know? I definitely was. I knew people were telling me to listen to it a lot, but, you know, having done over 400 reaction videos on my channel, sometimes people hype up an album and you listen to it and you feel a little underwhelmed. It's happened more than a few times, right? Not every album is for everybody. Not every artist is for everybody. So it happens. Sometimes someone drops an album, and, you know, you're really excited about it, and you suggest it to someone and they listen to it and they just don't enjoy it as much. So I was really hesitant coming into it because of how hyped up this album was. I really didn't want to be disappointed. You know, I really didn't want this to have been overhyped. I mean, like I said, it took me 3 years to finally sit down and do this reaction video. So, you know, it had gotten to a point where I needed this to be mind-blowing. And, I mean, it lived up to the hype, which is really, like, insurmountable. It's super impressive, the fact that it held its own. It's from 2014. It doesn't sound dated. It doesn't sound old. If this had dropped, what day is today? Thursday? Tonight at midnight is the day that music drops, right? Friday at midnight. If this dropped tonight at midnight, it would be album of the year in 2021, you know, 7 years later. So that's really impressive. And I feel like nothing that I say will add to, you know, how good this album is in the eyes of the people. I mean, it really holds its own and speaks for itself. There's nothing I can do or say to add to it or make it seem even better than it really is. You know what I mean? So it really is just a tremendous album that you should go and listen to. If you've heard it before, listen to it again. And if you've never heard it for whatever reason, like I hadn't, definitely check it out. But, man, jumping into the concept of this album a little bit, it's so interesting. You know, he starts off with a track called Hereditary, where he mentions all the different qualities that he saw in his father that he didn't want for himself, and he ended up inheriting anyways. alcoholism, drug addiction, the lustfulness, using women and mistreating them, treating them as objects in order to escape your problems, your reality, and try to basically bury yourself in drugs, alcohol, and sex. And just how disappointed he was in his father, and how disappointed he is in himself for having inherited those qualities, and how ashamed he feels, being looked at by little children who remind him of himself when he was in that situation, and how terrible that made him feel. And it's a situation where, a lot of times a rapper will talk about his drug use, and it sounds like he's glorifying it and trying to make it seem cool. And that's disappointing because, there are people out here dying, overdosing, misusing drugs, abusing them, destroying their entire lives because of addiction. So it sometimes is a little disappointing to hear how rappers speak about drugs, but here it really sounds like he's not glorifying it. It sounds like he is trying to demonstrate just how much he's using it to cope and just how much of a crutch it can become. And it's almost like a warning, it really is interesting the way that he paints that picture here. It does feel like there is a certain progression throughout the project where basically by the time we get to Heavenly Father, there is a bar in there where he says, I'm not going to be like my father. And that's kind of like a turning point in this album. That's kind of like where he wakes up and decides this is not who I want to be. This is not the way that I want to be. I'm emulating this person who has hurt me so much, and I'm bound to hurt other people around me, and I don't want that. And just how introspective he gets on this project and how honest he is about it is really admirable. It's really, how can I say this? It's worthy of imitation. It's something that you can look up to. It's something that you can try and emulate. That sort of honesty, that sort of reality and genuineness is something that you can try to incorporate in your own music if you do make music. It's definitely something that should inspire you. You know what I mean? Is how honest he was, how open he was with himself and with everyone who was listening to this album on here. Truly a phenomenal project, dude. It's truly a phenomenal project. It really is interesting. It's eye-opening, and it is, like I said, mind-blowing, just like it needed to be so that I wouldn't be disappointed. It really is worthy of all of the hype that people gave to it over these years, man. Absolutely. Fantastic album. I saved it so that I can come back and listen to it again. Thank you to everybody who suggested this to me. Thank you to everybody who donated so that we unlocked this reaction through the donation goals. Really appreciate you guys. Let me see if the donation goal for the next album is going to be Kissland. We're all just about halfway there, so expect that reaction soon. Thank you so much to my patrons, to my members. Thank you to everybody who supports the channel. If you're not subscribed for whatever reason, subscribe, hit that notification bell so that whenever I go live again and do another album reaction, you get notified and you can show up and enjoy the albums with me. I really appreciate you guys, man. Great reaction and picking up on the lyrical themes of the album. Isaiah is special in a way that doesn't seem immediately apparent a lot of the time. Well, I think I made a great choice asking people for different things to look out for before going into it. I feel like that was a good decision on my part because it really helped. So I couldn't have done this without you guys. Thanks, guys. Thanks for stopping by and hanging out with me today. I'll see you guys later, man. Until then, stay safe. As always, take care of yourselves, take care of your families. See you guys. Peace out.